Durag wisdom, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Y2K 20.01.24. What are we going to do when the Senate clears the Fiend? It's going to happen. The Democratic impeachment managers have presented an open and shut case. I was amazed at their performance this week. They filled their testimony with passion, with witnesses. That's right, witnesses who were filmed during the Senate Intelligence Committee hearings. Remember the impeachment hearings? I was on the cruise at the time. So they took clips of these and they used them with their presentation of their facts. So although Moscow Mitch and his Trumpists are not going to allow witnesses or whatever, somehow, some way, those smart folks on the Democratic side, the people that are on our side in this case, are bringing their witnesses in a video format, just telling examples. Every time they had an example of some kind of outrage this creep did, the Democrats during their presentation had videos to back it up. They may not have flesh and blood witnesses in this point, but at least they had flesh and blood witnesses who were being videoed at the time or filmed at the time during their testimonies that the Democrats aptly used during their presentation. Never again have I seen such an extensive use of video during these proceedings. And again, they serve the purpose of perhaps making up for the fact that the Trumpists want no witnesses. What are we going to do again when the Trumpists in the Senate acquit the President Fiend? Evidence is clear. Nazi Trump was trying to cheat his way into a second term. Nazi Trump is trying to mess with our free and open elections. Nazi Trump wants to become a part of the oligarch, totalitarian, religious extremist empire headed by Vladimir Putin. Of course, the idiot in our White House thinks that he's going to be the king. Well, in The Lord of the Rings, the Dark Lord, Sauron, does not share his power with Saruman, nor would he share his power with anyone. And Putin is right now our Sauron. Trump withheld monies from Ukraine that were approved by the Congress in order to force them to investigate Hunter Biden and to force them to accept a Putin-created conspiracy theory that Ukraine and not Russia messed with our Y2K16 election. Come on, Americans, aren't we smarter than what this creep thinks we are? Conservative too? I mean, the things that this Trumpin' creep is doing to conservatives now, if I was visiting as a tourist a conservative, what I would think to be a conservative state, I would behave with much more honesty and respect than what this person is doing to them now. And Trump was trying to fix our election with the help of foreign actors, something our founding fathers were most afraid of. I like to say founding mothers too. And he did this with Russia. Russia, if you're listening. And what they did, they invaded Hillary Clinton's emails. Now he wants Ukraine to meddle in our election. He wants China. Remember he said, I want China. Remember he said, it's no problem if you need help with foreign people in your election, blah, blah, blah. He said it's no problem. Only thing is, it's against our Constitution. We do not have a dictatorship. Representative Schiff made it clear that we must have engaged people, active people, thinking people. People care about our laws as much as they can, who are sensitive to it. Because we don't have people, we have apathetic people, people just busy filling their brains with reality show bullcrap without understanding the free country we live in, then our Constitution will not work. This was the closing statement of Adam Schiff yesterday. People, us, we have to be engaged in order for our Constitution to work. We must be awake and vigilant. We weren't, and that is why we have a dictator, a traitor in our White House. Sadly, ladies and gentlemen, I do not believe that the Senate is going to remove Trump, nor go along with the fact that he is impeached for life. Personally, this fiend Trump should not only be removed from office, he should also be locked up in prison for life. Again, what are we going to do when the Senate clears the fiend? Because I'm almost certain right now, and I hope I'm wrong, that they are going to clear this Trump, Nazi, birther, creep, fiend. He wanted to cheat with our elections. Nobody in our country is supposed to cheat. You know, in the Wild West days, if you were called a cheater, you know what happened? And I followed the code of the West. And I would be afraid if I would even think about cheating somebody. The Trump fiend and traitor wants the trial to be over before the Super Bowl and or before the State of the Union. This monster traitor Trump fiend wants to pound his chest like a cheap version of King Kong and let us all know that now he will be unbound to pursue the destruction of our country and of our democratic constitutional republic. Make no mistake, Trump is a dangerous sociopath. How many times do I have to say this? Wielding a bloody knife to take to the heart of our country. Now look, folks, I'm 69. I'm on my way out. Out. But there are people here, young people, who I want to enjoy a free country as much as I could, whatever I could. Once acquitted, the fiend will continue to undermine our rule of law and will continue to try to cheat in our elections and to destroy our free vote entirely. The fake president of the USA is working for a foreign power. We must be prepared to answer his attack or lose it all. Too bad we did not learn the lessons from the movie The Manchurian Candidate, because now we are dealing with its live sequel called The Moscovian Candidate and worse. Ladies and gentlemen and friends, people have died defending our republic from day one. Are we going to allow this lowlife, a Trump, to do to our country what the King of England and Hitler failed to do? Are we going to allow those heroes, the people who go out and fight, who spill blood, who either get disabled or die, defending us, defending this freedom that we have? Are we going to allow those heroes who came before us, who defended our country against dictators, to die in vain? Honestly, I have no organized plan of attack on the Trump goon once he is falsely vindicated. What we can do to help, to demonstrate, to keep our country with us, because he's going to be doing a lot of damage over the next few months before the election. A lot. And hopefully Ruth Bader Ginsburg will stay alive. The only thing I can suggest right now is insisting over and over and in public that if the Senate refuses to have documents and witnesses at the impeachment trial, then their acquittal of Trump is invalid and treasonous. We should say that over and over and over again. If they acquit this bastard, His trial is invalid and treasonous. Invalid and treasonous. Invalid and treasonous. I have other ideas, maybe, of attack against this Trump enemy, but presently my depression is great and my outrage against the totalitarians in our Senate is so intense that it is hard for me to even think without gritting what is left of my teeth. Finally, the only way out of this I can see is in 283 days. When I go to the polls, I only hope that everyone who despises this Trump creep and his cult as much as I do will join me on that day to save our country!